Takuma Sakamoto, a reclusive player, is transported to the world of his favorite game, Cross Reverie, with the appearance and powers of his own in-game character, the Demon Lord Diablo, where the Pantherian Rem Galliu and the elf Shera L. Greenwood accidentally fall under an enchantment that binds them to him as slaves. The trio settles in an inn in the city of Faltra, where they meet Celestine Baudelaire, the leader of the Mage Association. The slave collars around Rem and Shera's necks cannot be removed or destroyed, so Celestine promises to figure out how to do it, suspecting that Rem is keeping secrets. Before we continue with the video, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to help us keep bringing more summaries like this one. Now, let's get to the video. Diablo forces her to confess privately that the Demon Lord Krebskulm has been sealed inside her body since she was born. Celestine is the only one who knows, and they have been working on a way to extract and defeat Krebskulm without killing her. Diablo promises to help her with her problem. Later, when Diablo takes a stroll, the discontented mage Galak attacks him with a giant salamander that spews fire, only to be shocked when Diablo easily defeats it. He declares himself as Diablo, the Demon Lord from another world. Diablo, Rem, and Shera join the Adventurers Guild. But when they try to measure Diablo's level, the power measuring device fails. The guild master, Sylvie, is intrigued and sends them on a mission to defeat a Madara serpent in the Devouring Men's Forest. Upon arrival, they are ambushed by a group of elves who reveal that Shera is the Princess of Greenwood and wish for her to return home, as they were informed that Diablo enslaved her. Shera refuses to return because her brother was pressuring her to marry him and have his child. The Elves attack Diablo, who easily defeats them. Galuk, the one who told the Elves where to find them and seeks revenge against Diablo, comes out of hiding and reprimands the Elves for their failure, then withdraws after being scolded by Rem. Shera tells the Elves to go back and tell her brother that she will never return home. Diablo and Shera receive a mission to deliver refreshments to the guards at Ulug Bridge. Emil Bischelberger, who believes Shera and Rem are involuntary slaves, attacks Diablo and is quickly defeated. The girls explain the situation to him, and he decides to withdraw. While Diablo and Shera make the delivery, the guards report the approach of a large army of fallen. Aware that the guards won't survive without help, Diablo volunteers to defend the bridge. In the city, Celestine tells Rem that she fired Galak for his actions and expresses suspicions that Diablo is, in fact, a fallen. Galak bursts in hysterically and demands to hear that he wasn't fired. Suddenly, he stabs himself with a cursed dagger, causing his body to be possessed and transformed into the fallen Gregor. Diablo defeats the fallen one by one, and then their commander, Edelgar, appears challenging him to a duel. Gregor pursues Celestine and Rem, aiming to kill Celestine to destroy the protective barrier she placed around the city. When they are cornered, Emil and several adventurers defend them. Edelgard cannot inflict significant damage on Diablo. When a messenger explains the situation with Gregore, Diablo casts a massive spell called White Nova that wipes out the fallen army and much of the land, but to Diablo's surprise, Edelgard is left only naked and largely unharmed, recognizing him as a demon lord. Diablo teleports himself and Shera back in time to save Emil from death. Vengeful for all the people Gregor hurt and killed, Diablo humiliates him with his magic until he begs for mercy and then kills him. After the funerals for the people killed in Gregori's attack, Shera tries to seduce an exhausted Diablo, only to be attacked by a jealous Rem. Sylvie delivers a message saying that Shera must be returned to Greenwood within 10 days. Otherwise, there will be war. Diablo gets angry when he learns that Shera's brother has put a bounty on her. The group meets Chester Ray Galford, the Lord of the City, who asks them to do their best to avoid a war, as Shera refuses to return to Greenwood. Chester appoints Alicia Christella, an Imperial Knight, to help them. Diablo buys a scythe to be able to fight weaker opponents without using magic. Shera is kidnapped by bounty hunters but is rescued by the group, including Emil. Alicia scolds herself for not protecting Shera better, but Diablo reassures her, telling her not to be too hard on herself. Celestine directs the group to the slave trader, Medios, who used to be Celestine's colleague in the study of magic, in search of information on how to remove the collars from Rem and Shera. Upon finding Medios, she detects the presence of Krebskulm inside Rem, but Shera misunderstands, thinking she's saying that Rem is pregnant. Medios explains that a master can remove the collar by pouring their magical energy into their slave's body. Diablo tries to do this with Shera, but embarrassedly gives up when the process proves to be extremely pleasurable for her. Later, Shera's brother, Kira, arrives and apologizes for the bounty hunters, trying to persuade Shera to return with him. She reiterates that she won't go back, so he leaves, promising that she will return with him willingly. Diablo dreams of his childhood, where many of his so-called friends used him and then abandoned him. While alone with Shera, he discovers that he can easily create potions. Outside, Kira plays a flute that hypnotizes Shera, making her go out with him. Depressed at being abandoned again, Diablo is downcast, but Rem and Alicia eventually deduce that Shera was hypnotized, and the group plans a rescue. Kira chains Shera in his tent and interrogates her about her relationship with Diablo, not believing her when she says Diablo hasn't touched her. Kira releases a slime creature that eats fabric to destroy her clothes and prepares to abuse her, but the group arrives in time, having already defeated his guards. Kira uses the flute to hypnotize Shera again and make her lie that she wants to be with him. But Diablo uses his Collar Master authority to make her tell the truth, and she asserts that she wants to be with Diablo and Rem. Furious, Kira summons a monster named Force Hydra. Diablo defeats the Strength Hydra despite its regeneration, completely incinerating it. Shera asks him to spare Kira, as he is still her brother, and he agrees, but Chester appears and decapitates Kira. Chester gathers his army to capture the already defeated elven troops and attempts to capture Shera, declaring his plans to conquer Greenwood. Chester traps Diablo in an energy sphere and destroys Alicia's sword when she tries to defend Shera. Diablo frees himself and faces Chester, being evenly matched in the battle, but narrowly emerges victorious. Alicia threatens to report Chester's unethical actions to the king, so he surrenders and withdraws his troops. The group heals the elven troops with potions and comforts Shera for the loss of her brother. Later, Sylvie serves an exhausted Diablo a drink, intended to restore energy, but he gets drunk and confuses it with a body pillow. He grabs and caresses it, causing great embarrassment to Sylvie. While Alicia has an audience with the king, she encounters Sadler, an arrogant paladin, heading to the city of Faltra to investigate Diablo. Shera summons a bird named Turkey Shot and attaches it to her with a leash. Diablo teaches her how to use Turkey Shot's ability to share what it sees with its owner to enhance her arrow accuracy. While Shera and Rem bathe in a river, Edelgard appears, stating that she is not here to fight but to confirm that Rem harbors Krebskulm within her. They explain Rem's situation to Shera, who promises to help. Edelgard explains a ritual to be performed in 3 days at the Tower of Starfall, which can remove Krebskulm without harming Rem, and then departs after they agree. 3 days later, Alicia returns and warns them about Sadler. Despite attempts to avoid him, he and his followers find them. Sadler condemns Diablo's friends for associating with a demon lord and injures Rem with magic. He tries to turn Diablo to stone, but Diablo reflects the spell, and Sadler is petrified. The group heads to the Tower of Starfall. Edelgard explains that Diablo must pour his magical energy into Rem to release Krebskulm. Despite his embarrassment, he does so, and what emerges is initially a huge and hideous demon, but then transforms into a beautiful little girl. Krebskulm has amnesia, and when Shera feeds her cookies, she is delighted with the taste and decides not to exterminate mortals. Alicia protests, but Edelgard is loyal to Krebskulm and accepts. Disappointed with Krebskulm's weaker form and her refusal to kill, the fallen Eulerex appears and attacks, but Edelgard and Diablo drive him away. As they approach the city of Faltra, Edelgard leaves since the Fallens are not welcome. They change Krebskulm's name to Clem to avoid panic. An exhausted Diablo is embarrassed when Shera and Clem undress and rub against him to donate magical energy. In particular, Alicia recalls how she suffered from abusive parents and superiors and wants Krebskulm to eradicate all mortal races. Meanwhile, Sadler returns to flesh and vows revenge. The group informs Celestine about Clem, and she is pleased to learn that the Demon Lord is not evil. Separated from Shera and Diablo, Alicia betrays Rem and Clem, handing them over to Sadler, and they are imprisoned. Alicia's plan is to traumatize Clem until she returns to her true nature. Sadler takes them to a church where he intends to torture Rem until she confesses to worshipping a demon lord. Diablo and Shera search for them, while a large army of Fallens marches toward the city of Faltra. Clem tries to protect Rem, but when Sadler tries to attack her, Rem defends her with her own body and is impaled several times. Clem loses control, reverts to her original demon form, kills Sadler, and blows up the church. As she wreaks havoc, Diablo and Shera arrive. Alicia joins the fallen army, and she, Edelgard, and Eulerex celebrate the return of the true Krebskulm. While Shera treats Rem's wounds with potions, Diablo confronts Krebskulm and damages her considerably, but cannot stop her. After Emil shields the girls from the debris, Rem reveals that she is fine, causing Krebskulm to revert to the little girl Clem. The fallen army turns against Alicia for her failure, but Edelgard stops them and orders her to flee. Sylvie tries to kill Clem for the destruction she caused, but she gives up when Diablo casts a spell to make Clem his slave, and a collar appears around her neck, as a slave cannot disobey her master. Later, Alicia appears and reveals that she managed to enter the city with Edelgard, severely injured from facing the other Fallens, and asks Clem to heal her, which she does. Clem orders Edelgard never to kill mortals again. Rem asks Alicia why she did what she did, and she reveals her past suffering and the desire to eliminate mortal races. Since Clem does not kill, Alicia attempts suicide, but Diablo stops her and tells her to find a new purpose to live. Then Rem forgives her. Diablo faints from exhaustion and feels embarrassed embarrassed when the 5 girls bid farewell and rub against him to donate magical energy. The next day, Edelgard disguises herself as a human and blends in with the people. Alicia embarks on a new journey. Shira and Rem ask Diablo to choose one of them to kiss, but he refuses, as he is a demon lord and does only what he wants. Thus concluding the first season of the anime Isekai Mau to Shukan Shoujo no Dore Majutsu. That was today's content. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share the video, leave your like, and stay tuned for the next video. Take care.